אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, אתה משמרה בקרבי. אלוהי, אלוהי, נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא. אלוהי, אלוהי, נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom to Cantor and to everybody else who's joining us, whether you're watching with us and being a part of our community on Facebook, on YouTube. It's great to have you here this beautiful Shabbat morning. As we join together, a couple things that we always ask. One, it's always nice to know who's a part of our community. And so if you're on, take a moment to put something in the chat, like Michael Rosen has. Good Shabbos, Michael. And to let us know that you're here, that you're watching, that you're part of Shabbat services with us. And for those of you that would like, you can follow along in your prayer book if you happen to have one of those, or you can download it from the Shir Shalom website, or if you go to our YouTube page under resources or at the bottom of the screen there, you'll be able to see the Saturday morning prayer book so that you can follow along there as well. Shabbat Shalom to Dean as well, who's with us, I see. And as we do that, for those of you who are wearing a talit, I invite you to join with me in reciting the blessing for wearing the talis. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu v'hitatef batzitit. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with commandments and commands us to wear the garment of our responsibility. And we continue on page 56 of our prayer books. These are the obligations in life which have no bounds. They are the responsibilities in which we must participate if we are to enjoy the fruits of this world and any world to come. Performing acts of loving kindness, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, welcoming guests, visiting the sick, celebrating with the wedding couple, honoring our parents, consoling the bereaved, being devoted to prayer, achieving peace where there is strife, but the study of Torah is equal to them all because it leads to them all. And we continue with our call to worship as we rise together on page 65 of our prayer books.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, יוצר אור וברא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, יוצר אור וברא חושך, עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל כל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love the eternal your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These enduring words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path.
Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart.
In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives.
Our faith has been our rock and our help.
We watched God's wonders when we went free from Egypt.
When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it.
May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind.
O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now as our people have praised you throughout history. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot ol sefele, nora tehilot ol sefele. Adonai yimloch, Adonai yimloch, le'olam va'ed. Tzur Yisrael, kuma b'ezrat Yisrael, ufedech in omecha, Yehuda v'Yisrael, go aleinu Adonai tzevahot shemo, kadosh Yisrael, baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
In preparation for the Amidah, we rise together and take a moment for our own private meditations, either following the words of our prayer book on page 70 or those our hearts might prompt.
Ratzon im refi לבניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי, אדוני צורי וגואלי. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, v'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי hakol.
We sanctify your name on earth, even as your holiness is proclaimed in the heavens above and throughout time and space. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, we say, holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech ol haaretz, kevodo, Baruch kavod Adonai, mimakomo, yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Zion, ledor vador, hallelujah.
To all generations, we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Our God and God of our ancestors, accept our rest as a sacrifice of time and space. Let us share in your world by celebrating creation day by day. Purify our hearts so that we might be honest and upright, forgiving and compassionate. Blessed are you, O God of truth, who helps us to make the Sabbath a part of our life and our heritage of joy. Look with favor, O God, upon your people Israel and receive our prayers with love. May it be your will to accept our worship and our deeds. Blessed are you who alone we serve and reverence. Modim anach nulach, eternal source of good, we thank you for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days. for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Help us, O God, to work for a just and compassionate society where all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom. For all of this, your name shall be blessed and praised forever.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם יספרו ויתן גם טובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקורא עונג שבת.
And together on page 77, we join in our prayers for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace.
Sim, sim. Sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la, ya la la. Sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, sim, sim, sim shalom, tova uveracha.
Following our prayers for peace, we turn to words of Torah to inspire us, to give us spiritual significance and meaning. And as we read verses this morning, Cantor is going to be chanting from a double portion known as Tazria Mitzorah in the book of Leviticus, starting with the first verse of chapter 12. And it's an interesting Torah portion as we read it because it starts off, as Cantor will read, talking about childbirth, but it also goes into other details about skin diseases and boils and bodily fluids and all sorts of other fun, interesting topics to discuss. And what we'll read about in a little bit is the idea of actually two different types of offerings that are supposed to be made once the childbirth has occurred. And those two different types of offerings are, one is a burnt offering, which the rabbis understood as a way of thanking God and saying, thank you for the blessing of the birth of this child. And the other one was a sin offering by the mother. that was supposed to be given. And it was interesting, and the rabbis had a challenge with it at the beginning to try to figure out why would it be that we were offering a sin offering. The mother would be required to offering a sin offering, because for us, in the Jewish tradition, the idea of childbirth from start to finish is a holy process. And so there was some great commentary around there. And one of those ideas is that the sin is that we miss some of the miracles and the miraculous events that are around that childbirth. That there are so many things that could go wrong. And we saw that even more so in ancient times, but still today, from the beginning to the start of that process, that sometimes the sin that we miss out on is recognizing the truly miraculous events in each and every one of those acts or actions that had to happen. And so that was one of the reasons that the rabbis gave for giving that sin offering. And so for us, as we read that message, it's a reminder for us to recognize the miraculous that's in our lives that oftentimes we overlook, whether it's because we're too busy or stressed out or we don't take the time to reflect, but a reminder for us to be able to recognize the beauty in our world. And so I hope that's the message we take away as Cantor chants these verses. I invite you to join with me, and I'll share the text in a moment for everybody to be able to see what Cantor is chanting, but I invite you to join with me in the blessing for the reading of Torah. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael lemor, Isha ki tazria v'yaleda zachar v'tamea shivat yamim ki me nidat devota titma uvayom hashmini yimol besar olato ushloshim yom ushloshet yamim teshev bidmei tahora b'chol kodesh lo tiga ve'el hamikdash lo tavo ad melot yimei tahora ve'im nekeva teled ve'tama'a shevu'ayim knidata ve'shishim yom ve'sheshet yamim teshev al demei tahora uvimlot yemei tahora levet o levet tavi keves ben shnato leolam uven yona otor lechatat el petach ohel moed el hakohen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
With Torah in our minds as we read that, we hope that Torah continue to give us and our loved ones strength as it has done for thousands of years, as we think of those who are in need of healing, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And we think of those friends and family, Larry Burke, Grace Geraldine Carafelli, Karen Kasman, Lindsay Cooper, Molly Cotent, Barbara Esrig, Barb Flair, Sandy Flair, Karen Garassi, Kathy Gilman, Joseph Goldring, Lola Goldring, Sandy Gorosh, Franklin Grady, Batya Batbeshia Panina, Susan Greenberg, Charles Gross, Sherry Gutter, Susan Gorelnick, Hank Heiser, Helen Indianer, John Ireland, Jane Jacobs, Bruce Kay, Myrna Klein, Paulette Coffrin, Serafina Coffrin, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Charlene Lizelle, Josh Lubick, Libby McIntyre, Michael Malley, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Joyce Meza, Nancy Morrow, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negron, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Hannah Molesky, Razel Batlea Miriam, Tamara Pesakoff, Melanie Pohl, Diane Rabbit, Diane Rabbit, James Raftery, Arthur Reish, Joanne Reed, Raymond Reif, Alan Rosen, the St. Amand family, Amy Selmanoff, Danny Shepard, Barbara Storm, Mark Wagoner, Skylie Weingarten, Sarah Botfega, Helene Wolf, all those battling coronavirus both at home and in the hospital, the 53,117 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema, complete healing of mind, of body, and of spirit.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
In addition to our prayers for healing, we ask that God's partners in the healing and those whose work allows our needs for survival to be met, may they also be blessed. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick. Bless those who continue to go above and beyond, everyone who puts the needs of others above their own. And bless those who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day, tending to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring health. Help them know again a time when they can create breath without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands, and may this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. We continue with the words of the Aleinu as we rise together on page 91 of our prayer books.
Aleinu l'shbeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשם כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Nothing can fill the emptiness that a death leaves behind. Those who are no longer a physical presence are still alive within our thoughts and our words. Their memories are only a part of the picture. So long as we recall their presence, then their warmth, their friendship, their heart, mind, and thought are still within our soul. We honor and cherish the ones we love by living our lives to the fullest. So in this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days. Through Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Mike Brash, Marjorie Pensine, Arnold Slutsky, Dr. Michael Cook, Neil Sobel, Marilyn Rowans, Deborah Rose Campaign, Fanny Zuckerman, the 7,038 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the surrounding areas to date, and the 565,695 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names, we add those whose yard sites we mark, those whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Sally Abels, Stephen Dashinger, Irving Diskin, Ann Elias, Cecilia Esther Frank, Leo Friedman, Bertram Gordon, Paula Greenberg, Martin Elliott Gray, Louis Horn, Celia Klegman, Eileen Colas, Jenny Malamed, Mike Must, Dr. Benjamin Newman, Samuel Palitz, Max Perlman, Florence Posar, Martha Ryder, Samuel Sakwa, Seal Saperstein, Norman Steele, Jack Wine, along with all those in our hearts and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together in the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish, praising God for the gift of life, as can be found on page 96 of our prayer books or on our screens in a moment. Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, Be'amad Divrach, Chirutei, V'amlich Malchutei, B'chayachon, U'vyomachon, U'v'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala U'vizman Kariv, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Omei Amaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei D'Krusha B'richu, Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata, Tushbachata V'nechamata, Da'amiran Be'alma V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere. As together we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Good Shabbos, Rabbi, and everyone.
Good Shabbos, Cantor, and Brian, who's on the screen behind the scenes, taking care of things. Thanks to Brian. And good Shabbos to everyone who's a part of services today. Whether you've commented or not, So good Shabbos to Michael and Dean and Rabbi Mike and Mel and Rita. Good to have you on, and the other 5 screens who are watching, at least on the YouTube channel as well, that are with us. And so as we get ready to conclude services, just a couple of announcements, different things that are going on that we want to make sure that you're aware of. Of course, we've got our Sunday morning minyan that will be happening tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on Zoom. And you can join us for that. You just have to sign in to get the link for that. We'll be able to send you that so that you can be a part of it, different from the YouTube experience that we have, because you get to join together in the room with everybody and be a part of services that way. On Tuesday evening, we have our Master Speaker Series. Dr. Mitchell Elkus is going to be talking about how our brain deals with stress. It should be a fascinating conversation, discussion, great way to learn something new, and some food for thought as well. And so that's 7:30. There's no charge for that. You can register online at shirshalom.org, where you'll also find information about next Mondays on the 26th, our golf outing that is going to be happening at Wabik. So if you want to be a part of that, it's not too late to sign up for it and be a part of it. We would love to have you join us. It includes a box lunch, a couple drinks along the course if you'd like, soft or hard, and 18 holes of golf in a cart. So it should be a lot of fun. And the best part of that is going to be the camaraderie, the ability to be able to come together in a safe way as a community and to have a fun day. So with that, we raise our cup of juice to thank God for the sweetness of Shabbat, this time that we're able to spend together and to be able to celebrate as we join with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. Say Adonai oz le'amo yitain. May God bless you with strength. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God bless all of us, here and everywhere.